So I just learned that Bear in the Big Blue House is on Disney Plus, and I'm on a mission to watch the first episode of all of my childhood favourite shows to see how they hold up and to see what they're like through an adult's eye. And I had to say, I thought this is the perfect opportunity to watch Home is Where the Bear Is, the very first episode, excluding the pilot, of Bear in the Big Blue House. And it is wonderful. There were a few things that I'd forgotten as well, so it kind of triggered some memories that I'd forgotten about. And I have to say, this is a really great way to start the first episode. So this aired, according to IMDb, in 1999. And this episode is directed by Chuck Vinson, written by Mitchell Kriegman and Andy Yerkes. And the episode is all about the Big Blue House. I thought it was a fantastic way to start this off. It starts off with Bear defining what a home is and how homes can be all kinds of shapes and sizes. And then he invites the viewer on a tour of his house. And I thought, fantastic, this is such a lovely way to show the viewer the rooms that they're going to be exploring over the course of, the next season and however many seasons followed. I'm not actually sure how many seasons of this there were, but there are 4 on Disney Plus, so at least 4. And as we go into each room, we meet a character. Another amazing way, such a simple yet effective way of introducing one at a time the rooms of the house and the characters of the house. And I have to say, in my mind, Ojo was a boy. So that was something that just was information that has been incorrect in my mind basically my entire life. Ojo, I believe, was in the living room. We have Tutter in the kitchen. Tutter was always one of my favourites. Treelo was in the bedroom, and Pip and Pop were in the bathroom. And I have to say, Pip and Pop kind of ruined the magic slightly. Because for the first time, I could see them, dare I say it out loud, I could see them as puppets. For the first time looking at it, I could see, like X-ray vision, I could visualise how they were being used. But apart from that, it was very easy to buy into the magic of this. The house is gorgeous. The exterior is stunning. But the detail on the inside is absolutely incredible. I also, well, this is going to sound stupid, but I never realised just quite how much of it was blue. The main hallway isn't blue, but the rest of it basically is, which makes a lot of sense. But just now that I'm paying attention to the tiny details and, looking closer at the set design and the props and the extra decorations, it's so lovely to be able to view it with an adult's perspective and kind of imagine the efforts that went into creating this set. It is just really beautiful. So, some of it, I have to say, made me laugh. There's this one line in particular where Bear goes up to the camera really brilliantly. The camera work is incredible. The movements of Bear are brilliant, and he sniffs the camera and it's so realistic, and he says, and I quote, I wrote this down because it made me laugh, "Did you just have some milk because you smell so good and healthy?" It's like the worst pickup line ever. It just amused me so much. A little bit of a cheesy dialogue throughout it, but it's really good fun. I had forgotten about Shadow. Shadow is the only thing in this that I could not remember, but as soon as I saw Shadow, the memory came flooding back. Not entirely sure why I couldn't remember Shadow, because I think it's quite a nice addition. But either way, it was quite nice to be reminded of something that I'd actually forgotten. Something else that's worth praising is the amount of songs in this. The songs themselves are very catchy, but ultimately, well, the theme song is amazing. As soon as I started listening to the theme song, it's the first time in a very long time I've listened to it, the hairs on my arms stood up. I had tingles. It was like I was a child again, and it was just, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. It took me straight back. And actually, when I was listening to the goodbye song, I actually started to get emotional, because if you listen to the lyrics, yes, it's a song they're saying goodbye to at the end of the day, but it kind of sounds like it's got a deeper meaning, and it just made me well up a bit. So definitely, it is a very different experience watching it as an adult, but a beautiful experience. I have a lot more appreciation for the tiny details, the camera work, the the puppets. I mean, I'm not saying I didn't know they were puppets when I was younger, but I think it's easier to ignore that fact when you're younger. but watching it, I could see their mouths move, and I was like, okay, yeah, I know how you're doing this now. But still, it's still beautifully done. Very clever camera angles to mask certain things, and for children, I 100% can see why it's popular. I can see why I loved it. But even watching it as an adult, it's so beautiful, it's so clever, it's so well done. I'm not saying it's the only show in the world that's like this or that can do this quality, but I was impressed. There was a lot I was impressed with. Really glad I watched the first episode. If you haven't seen it in a long time, certainly if you haven't seen it since you were a child, give the first episode a watch. It is on Disney Plus, and I'm pretty confident that you'll find it to be quite a magical and emotional experience. I really, really appreciated it.